Hello, this is my news video, February 3rd, 2016. And my video today is going to be about Black History Month and how people approach their views with regarding history, racially, religiously, historically, how we view it today, in relation to as how I recall it when I was younger. There was a recent story about an NBA team in Sacramento. They wanted to do a giveaway with T-shirts. Being in California, there is a lot of Asian population in the area, and like many sports teams, they try to attract any possible customer or fan into the arena that maybe hasn't been before, and usually freebies are the way to do it. Well, what Sacramento did was, this is Chinese New Year, and they were doing a giveaway for the New Year. Each year is represented by an animal. 2016 is the year of the monkey. And I'm not real well versed on Chinese culture. I was always raised to respect someone else's practices or views if they weren't my own. So, you celebrate a year because, with 12 years, there's 12 animals, and they repeat. And it's kind of a fun thing. When I was a kid, we'd go to Chinese restaurants, and they would have all the animals relating to the years, and they'd have a listing of the years so you could figure out what animal was the year you were born. And I never took any offense to any of that. My birth year is the oxen, and to me, every animal has a positive attribute. Oxen is probably, as some of the images that people have of it are strong, enduring, persevering, and those are images or qualities that I like to have reflected in me. Well, with the giveaway, one of the players on the team, African American, had a problem with the giveaway because it was the first day of African American History Month. The monkey, in many ways, was used back before some of the anti-discrimination things were pushed through during the Kennedy and Lyndon B. Johnson era. They would refer to blacks sometimes as monkeys, which, if I was referred to as a monkey, I would not be pleased about it, but I wouldn't be offended. But those were different times and different circumstances in which people, there are no differences in people other than the color of the skin, their hair. we're all like snowflakes. We're all different. And so it was, monkey was used as a derogatory term towards people of color, African Americans. And so this player, it wasn't that he had a problem with it, other than it being them doing it the first day of that month. And as a general rule, I think a lot of people in this day and age are far less prone to racist thoughts in that regard, and they look at people as people. At least that's my view. There may be other people that have a different view of that, and that's fine, but it's not okay. We're all human beings, and we should all be treated with respect based upon our behavior, not because of our skin color or any other attribute to us that is not disrespecting another living thing. Some of the things that, and I'm not a scholar, but I have read things that many times indentured servants, indentured slaves back in colonial times was something that was used to cleanse British behavior of enslaving the Irish in the New World. And, and they, history books, they were only, they had 7 years and they were free men. Well, many times that's not the way that worked. And there are many instances throughout this world where people have been oppressed, and it's been cleansed in such a way to make it seem like it wasn't that bad. The main reason why some of these derogatory behaviors and disrespectful behaviors towards blacks are highlighted is because people raise their voice against someone being disrespectful or trying to demean a person based upon their looks or the impression of something that was used as a term many years ago, and they're trying to eliminate behaviors that make others feel less than. And to me, in many ways, it's a form of bullying. The class system that existed in England with the kings and people being subject? And, to me, I have a problem even with subject, because that means I'm under your thumb. I have to do your will. And that's just a cleansed up version of slavery. And, the Scots for hundreds of years were mistreated and denigrated by the English, as were the Irish. The Irish have probably endured it longer than anyone. The British, this clean image that they have, in many ways, I don't think they have an ugly past. They enslaved the Irish in the New World, and some of the early slave owners were probably British as well, and as well as their colonialization of South Africa, though I believe part of that was Germanic as well. But uh, India, I know for a fact that those people were treated less than, and you know, to make people feel less than because you came and you saw the resources, and you saw ways to enrich yourself. That, to me, you're taking advantage of people, you're bullying people, you're stealing from people. That was what was done when folks were brought over from Africa, whether it be people were sold by other tribes, or Arabs did it, or Jews, or whoever. There are so many different stories that people like to relate. It doesn't matter who the person is doing the denigrating or the bullying. It's gone on for centuries, for well over 1,000 years. For some reason, some people just have a problem accepting someone as different because they can't accept their views and how they look at the world. I was raised that someone who has a different faith or lives a different way is not someone to be disliked. But if it's not something that you're curious about or you want, it's always good to be educated, but if you don't want that in your life, you walk away from it. You don't denigrate somebody. You don't chastise somebody for their beliefs. Jews have their faith in the way in which they believe Jesus comes about. Christians have another way. Muslims and people who believe in Islam have another way. Again, I'm not educated on, I'm Christian. I'm not educated on the Jewish faith. I'm not educated on Islam or Muslims. That's their faith. If that's the way they were raised, that's how they choose to believe. The important part is that when you choose to believe in whatever your higher power or God is you need to learn kindness to your fellow man. Someone tries to force your beliefs upon you, of course, that is going to leave someone feeling angry or resentful. As I was raised, you don't talk about faith with someone of another faith. Not in a deep sense, because faith is something that I believe is ethereal. It's something that comes from your soul. And in that, your faith is what carries you through your life. And many times when we encounter difficulties in life, it's our faith that gets us through difficult situations, if we allow it to. When we lose faith, that's sometimes when disastrous things can happen, and things that shouldn't happen do. There's incredible disconnect of faith, because a lot of people go, well, I see no proof of a better life. I don't see any proof of God. Why would God let people die so tragically in so many different instances? We are mortal. We do not live forever. People make mistakes. Sometimes people have issues that go beyond being angry. It may be mental issues, and some of those things are things that our leaders fail to address because they're consumed with pursuing wealth or pursuing projects that they deem more important. The sad thing about this is the most important thing in this world are living beings, not some project that may enrich you in some way. It's human beings and living things, plants, animals, the things that make the whole circle of life work on this planet in ways that it doesn't work on any other planet that we are aware of. The earth is a miracle. So many choose to not see that every day. They get consumed with the difficulties that challenge them every day. And what I say to that is, without difficulties and being able to pursue and overcome them, we don't grow and we don't enlighten. I've been through so many things, and yet there are people in this world that have greater wealth, greater education. But the enlightenment and the understanding that man has to embrace and be kind to another man in order for things mutually to grow and get better. Those are the things that are missing in this world today. The selfishness and the flat out not thinking of your fellow man is disturbing, and it's growing. And when you have powers that have great wealth, basically sentencing people to lives where they believe that they're becoming more and more powerless. That's not what the higher power, the God, Allah, the deity that you believe in, wants for us. And in truth, my very humble understanding of the various faiths that are on this earth, they all have a root connection. They all have a connection to humanness, that when people get away from their faith, they tend to have their lives go sideways, and they start complaining instead of doing. Sometimes when you are feeling sad and you feel like life is going nowhere, the important thing is to take action, and that will take away some of the sadness or depression or the feeling of powerlessness. You alone know what makes you happy, what your dreams are. The important thing is to not let someone else shoot down your dream. Usually, if somebody's doing that, they've given up on theirs. And what I've found over the last 10 years is I tend to talk to people to find out where they want to go, and I try to encourage them. It wouldn't the things that they want to do wouldn't be things that I would want to do, but those are things that make them happy. You chase the things that make you happy, and sometimes you don't realize what will make you happy. When I was younger, I thought having money would be great. I could sit back and not have to work. And not knowing how to get to there, I took a lot of side steps. I had some negative things impact me. I lost my father at an early age. I suffered through alcoholism and depression for many years, a few decades. And as I worked my recovery, I observed people, and in understanding what I had to do for myself, I also observed people, and it was kind of the day by day do what is good for you type of thing. Learn to do what's good for you, and it's been a lifetime of lessons with not really having anyone in my youth to be a mentor to guide me. I'm in a spot that I never thought I'd be. At 8 years old, I had thoughts of maybe running for mayor of my hometown, and maybe someday I will do that. I'm looking to get involved in my hometown community and possibly run for office, not mayor, and impact people and help them understand where my hometown was even 40 years ago. Small towns, to me, in my thinking from everything I've been through, if you can start there and create a change and create a positive neighborhood where people are looking out for people are watching, kids are going to get into trouble. But if you got neighbors looking out for these kids and making them accountable, it can change a community and change the world in ways that possibly no one is thinking of. You start at the very grassroots of smaller towns and engage citizens to try and make it better, and get them involved with the Board of Education, get them involved with community neighborhood watches with crime. Involve them in ways in which people who may have a depression problem or an addiction problem, and give them an outlet where they can talk to somebody and they can be reached by somebody who understands what they're going through and enlighten them in such a way to plant a seed for them to create something for themselves and not be involved in things that tear apart a community. These are things that I think not only smaller communities should think of, but also on a larger scale with state government and country government everywhere. You make people accountable for their actions. And be it if you have a mental disorder and you claim insanity, you have to work the program. You have to take your medication. You make them accountable for that. And make consequences for if there is a backsliding in the behavior. Same thing with addiction. If you're a person that becomes addicted to either alcohol or drugs or other things, addiction isn't just drugs and alcohol. It can be gambling. It can be the internet. Sometimes you allow too much of the focus to go to one area, and it doesn't allow you to grow as a person. And what I found, I never thought I was very good in school, but part of that was my depression, and part of that was my addiction because I started drinking at a young age, and it affected me. And recently, I took a couple of college courses. I, I I've been treated for my depression. I worked my sobriety, and I pulled grades that, in no way, shape, or form, did I ever think that would happen for me. These are important things. These are the things. These are the foundation that will create a better community, a greater life. Racism and bigotry over a person's faith, whether it be, they be black, they be Jewish, they be Indian, they be Arabic, it doesn't matter. The content on the person's heart is what you have to see. You can't see a person and allow your mind to fall into the stereotype. There are good people of every race and creed, and there are bad people of every race and creed. And those people will sell you on things to make you believe that it's minorities, or it's not me. And usually the person that's saying it's the minorities, it's not me, is the person that is the problem. But politicians have a way of sanitizing that, and people don't realize until a person's in office that they're robbing the community blind. The whole community. It doesn't. The community is not one race. It's not one faith. And to me, communities have to start respecting people of other faith and accept people for who they are. You don't have to love them, but that doesn't hurt. But to respect them and be kind. You don't have to be friends with everyone, but it doesn't hurt to be kind. This is my video for today, and I'm posting it here because I think it's something important that people need to hear. And sometimes when you have lost faith in yourself and you hear someone, be it a person of another faith or race, be it Hispanic, Asian, black, whatever it may be. We have one world, and to kill each other and to hurt each other makes no sense. Find the way, find the help, don't give up. Never give up. Thank you.